to music first, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Thank you, vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast.
Hello and welcome back to Vote for the Music, the Eurovision podcast. I'm Benjamin Widdybank.
And I'm Tadeusz.
Now today we're looking at our penultimate review of the first semi-final of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024, which will be taking place on the 7th of May in Malmö, Sweden. We're working right for this running order as we have got to song number 14, and that is Portugal, with the song Grito by Iolanda. So let's have a listen.
I have nothing interesting to say about Portugal. I don't feel this song at all. Sure, it is somewhat of a tradition for Portugal to send more artistic songs with not very mainstream appeal, that in turn often end up misunderstood and rejected by Eurofans. But in the last few years, it seemed that they finally had that worked out. Love Is On My Side, Saudade and I Curaçao were all very different from the modern pop market. However, they all had tools to resonate with the common audience as well, either by the well-thought staging, the very understandable sentiment and lyrics, or just the sheer charisma of the artist. Did they fail to manage that this time? Well, looking at the general fan takeaway, no, it's just a me problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I am going to have to side with pretty much everyone else here and not with you. Although, being said, when I did first hear this song, I was underwhelmed and I really didn't think much of it. But the more I've watched it, the more I've listened to it, the more this song has been with me, the more I've understood this as a piece of art, and I really, actually quite like it. I think Portugal have entered something, yes, I think it's risky. And I think it could fail, but it's certainly not as risky as stuff they've entered before. And I think it's got enough of a foundation in the performance, in what it's saying, in how it's presented to itself, and also the fact that the song is catchy and the song does stay with you. I think they've certainly got a very good chance of getting to that final and getting maybe not the best result in the world, but certainly a good, respectable one. I mean, yes, it's not in the winners' conversation, but I don't think that matters, because I think Portugal are going to do themselves proud no matter what with this.
True, Portugal is not in a winning conversation. However, everyone seems to be convinced that it will qualify and perhaps even get a decent place, somewhere in the second 10. And I'm not gonna come out and say I disagree with that, because I don't understand a thing about the song.
Fortunately, I really do. Now, I think if we're going to look at the lyrics, obviously I can only work off a translated version in English, as I do not speak Portuguese or understand Portuguese at all. But sort of from the English translation, the lyrics start with kind of a sense of movement and determination, where Iolanda feels sort of a physical and emotional sensation, where she's like, I heard it, my body was carrying me, and it's sort of a connection to her inner drive and strength, and that sets the tone of this whole thing being a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Then we move to sort of themes of letting go of pain, with lines like long strides stuck in the starting line, I want to let go of what hurt me. It's very much like she's trying to overcome obstacles and move forward with her life. And then we have also wanting to rise again. You know, despite her challenges, there's this feeling of optimism in there, going, yes, I can do this for a brighter future. There's also elements of self-reflection and transformation, talking about evolution, stating how she's transformed every verse within her. And that's also having narrative introspection, looking at the fact that we are, in fact, in a song. It's all very avant-garde and very clever. You know, there's whole aspects of courage and self-affirmation. There's aspects of forgiveness and love, and the symbolism. There's so much symbolism. There's all these references to fire and flames that burns, representing, passion and resilience, talking about her inner strength and her vitality. It is absolutely a song about personal empowerment, resilience, transformation, self-reflection, courage, belief in one's own strength. It is a fascinating lyric. As I say, I'm only working off my own personal interpretations based upon the English translation of this, so there could be some stuff lost there. But I think what she's saying is absolutely fantastic and is horrendously interesting. And I think even if you don't know those lyrics, so you don't know the Portuguese stuff, I think the way she performs it and represents it and the way the dancers move gets across at least a section of that message, especially the whole sort of I am whole and letting go of pain and renewal and hope type things in that performance. And then if we're looking at, for example, how they've staged it with the aspect ratio changes, I think that also represents so much to do with that. The way it comes in and comes out, I just think artistically is a masterpiece.
This year I failed to understand Portugal and the message they had for me. Perhaps I won't be the only one, but I'm gonna leave that speculation to the smarter people than I am.
I mean, yes, there is that point. And I said the first time I heard this, it's not that I didn't understand it, but it just didn't do anything for me. And then I heard it more and more and more, and the more I've heard it, the more I've liked it. And yes, there was the point at the Eurovision Song Contest, most of the people voting, the vast, vast, vast majority of people voting, have only heard it once. And they've seen that performance in the semi-final and then the grand final, or just the grand final, or just the semi-final if it doesn't qualify. And they vote based it entirely off that 1 3-minute listen and watch of it. And if it doesn't connect with people in those 3 minutes, then yes, perhaps it could end up non-qualifying and flopping. But I think the quality is there, and I think it is good enough to do well. And I absolutely think this will qualify, and I think that Portugal will get themselves a respectable position in the grand final. So it's not a worry or concern for me. So those were our thoughts on Portugal's entry for the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. And we'll be concluding our quickfire reviews of the first semi-final with Luxembourg's entry tomorrow. And then, of course, we'll be going for our full semi-final 1/2-2 episode on Monday. And then we've got a very special extra episode for you on Tuesday, which I won't say too much about at the moment, but it's going to be something very different from this and something which I think a lot of you may find quite interesting. And then, of course, after that, we'll be back with semi-final 2, half 1, as we look through all those songs, starting with Malta. But until then, please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever else you may get your podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube, which we're also publishing our podcast episodes on. Comment, leave us a like, interact with our Q&As, or however else you want to engage with the podcast. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But until the next time, thank you for listening so much. And remember to vote for the music.
This is to music first, always.
We are unstoppable.
Open the frontiers to make people meet people.
Music is not fireworks. Music is feeling.
You're good to go.
Don't you vote for the music!
This is Vote for the Music, the Eurovision